Hi, good evening everyone and welcome to another episode of After Office Hours. Hello.
Hey guys, how
Uh,
are you?
Hi.
it's been a while. Medyo natagalan tayo for this next episode. But before we answer or before we discuss today's topic, to all our viewers, if you like our videos or if you want more people to see our videos on YouTube, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps to increase searchability of the videos.
Spoken
Topic
like a true
natin.
marketing person.
So the question for today is, ano nga ba yung question? So our question for today is, should you stay long in a company or should you move around? But siguro before we answer that question, what was the longest time you've stayed in a company and what made you stay that long and what made you leave?
I'll start. So I stayed in one company in the past for 6 years, so that's the longest. And I guess the reason that I left was really around wanting to parang have a different experience outside of what that company is able to give me. Kasi I was just starting my career back then. So it's at the earlier part of my career. So ganun siya.
But what made you stay that long? Na six years?
Marami din kasing growth. So within that 6 years, I started kasi in market research, so consumer insights ako noon. And then after 2 years in consumer insights, I moved to brand management. In brand management, I handled so many brands. So parang there is really a progress of things that I was handling. So parang yun, it kept me going within that 6 years.
Very similar experience. I stayed for about 8 years. Yun yung longest time that I stayed in a company. And same with you, the reason I stayed that long, kasi hindi ko na rin siya namalayan because I was really moving around also. I was exposed to different opportunities. So that's what kept me. So from brand management, I was exposed to international operations, and then I was exposed to digital. I was exposed to trade marketing. So ang dami kong naikutan. Finally, when yung last para naging stint or last job ko, which was on digital marketing, and that's when I decided to really focus on it. I looked for an opportunity that would really help me learn more about that opportunity. So that's the reason also why I left.
My longest was about almost 12 years.
Wow.
And the reason why I stayed was the opportunities were there and I was learning a lot. And the reason why I left was I wanted to do something else, which I feel I wouldn't be able to do in if I stayed. So
I was just thinking na parang going into that company for the two of you, parang did you think that you'd stay that long?
Ako hindi. Parang at that point, that wasn't like a decision na I already made going into na parang I'll stay long in this company. Wala namang ganong mindset.
ako medyo parang I coming in wala, but I think when you're in the company already, that's when you start seeing reasons why you want to stay. So and the financial benefits of actually staying longer. So yeah, so I didn't set out for it to be my retiring company, but as I grew into the organization, that's when you start realizing, oh, this is a nice company to retire in.
Kasi mahaba din yung 12 years, my God. Parang, yun nga, a lot of people will say na shocks retiring type of stint na yun. Ako kasi cross the bridge when it's there ako. So parang going into it, parang game lang, parang ganyan. And then as the challenges and opportunities come, parang yun, you stay.
What was the shortest time you stayed in a company? And what made you move right away after that company?
Ako 8 months.
Oh my God, totoo.
Yeah, that was my first job.
Mm.
So at this point, I've only been in 4 companies. So talagang long naman. I don't set out to be planning na okay, I'll leave after 2-3 years, right? So yung first was immediately out of college. I just felt that it wasn't what I wanted to do at the start of my career. So I when I saw the other opportunity, and the next opportunity was the 12 years
Mm.
company. It helped me find what I was looking for.
Ako 3 years. For 3 years, and what made me leave the company was for a better opportunity, for financially and also exposure wise. Those were the two reasons why I moved.
Akala ko ako yung mananalo sa round na to, pero hindi pala. 13 months yung akin, so 1 year and 1 month. Yun, same with JB, first job ko yun. And then, it was kasi an agency that I was in. So parang after 1 year, I realized na parang I want to see the entire picture talaga. So from that 1 year in the agency life, I moved to um, parang a client side work, which is more full circle, I would say. Kasi you get to see how your it was market research that time. So how your recos and findings translate to really big strategies, communication, product, and so on.
What would you consider ba a long time? Ako kasi feeling ko if it's 5 years or at least may loyalty award ka na makukuha, that's already a long time. And short time would be anything shorter than that.
Well, not all companies give 5 years loyalty award. It depends. So I don't think the loyalty award is the measure.
Hindi, ako I think ang personal na benchmark ko at least 2. Yun yung parang acceptable time na. And then pag nagland ka na ng 5, I think long na yon.
Long.
Tapos nun, more than 5, longer. Na joke lang. So yun, 2 to 5, I think yun medyo acceptable, healthy, I don't know.
From an HR standpoint, how short is short?
I was thinking about this. I was reflecting on the question, and the question there is, what happened, diba? And if
Yeah.
there's a good reason, or if there's actually, why do you care about the reason so much? Parang, as long as it fits the story of the person, then that's it. That's experience. Whether it's 2 months, 3 months, that's still experience, right? So you're buying the skill.
It's also the fit of what the company is looking for and what the person has. Kasi kunwari, when we discuss talents internally with the team, parang they also look at the agility of the person eh. And when they say agility, it's how the person has the capability to handle different facets of, let's say, marketing or handle different categories and quickly learn. No? And sometimes those are things that you can get when you move, diba? Because yun nga, when you move, you handle a different category, you handle a different team. It's a different business model altogether.
That's
Kasi
where I was
wala-
coming from when I was saying that it depends on the story of the
Yeah.
person. Kasi parang, what did you learn in the 2 years that you were in that one company? Because if you haven't been able to articulate what you've learned, then that's what you're looking for. What you're assessing is the ability of the person to do something within the 2 years, right? Yung the skills, the learning, the knowledge that the person has obtained during those period. Pero kung ang initial natin is ay jumper, red flag.
Tapos tumigil na, baka yun yung mas scary.
And then I think that's also what we need to avoid as recruiters or as hiring managers na parang I think we need to control or we need to assess and review our biases when it comes to that. Kasi I think it comes from the feeling of wanting the person to be loyal. And for a person to be loyal, kailangan matagal ka sa kumpanya. Not necessarily the case, right?
What's your take on that question? Should you stay long in a company or should you move around?
For me, it's not about the number of years, but maybe about the learnings and challenges that you get. So, for example, I've seen so many companies na have moved from, kunwari, sticking into one position until you can be promoted, parang ganun, to a model or a version na parang they encourage people to really move from one post to another. Like, by your second year, you also already start looking for your next role. and then by your third or fourth year, likely you are already in your next role. So parang it actually works with yun, the type of um, adventure or challenge or learning that people are looking for also. So yun, it's more the underlying thing beneath the number of years that you stay. So for me, short or long, it's okay. But what learning you get, what experience you get, I think matters more.
Similar yung take on it. But for me, there's no preferred route. It really depends on the life stage you're at and what your objectives are. For example, you have a family and you want, for example, you want less stress or to spend more time in the family, or you can be single, but you already love what you do, you're already in a good place. It provides for your needs. It gives you the right work-life balance where you're at. Then generally speaking, for me, at least based on my experience, parang with that life stage or with that objective, parang staying long in a company would help you parang sustain that. Kasi parang staying in a company for a long time, it offers you stability, you know already the business, the people, you've assimilated yourself already into the culture. So parang wala na masyadong adjustments. Okay ka na, di ba? Even the level of stress, parang it's not that high compared to moving into a new company and proving yourself all over again, di ba? I would say there's still career progression, but parang it's not as fast tracked, I would say, compared to moving into a new company. So maybe you still have career aspirations, but hindi na siya yung priority. And parang hindi na nga siya as fast track compared to moving to a new company. But if you're, for example, as you mentioned, if you're still hungry for knowledge, for experience, and you don't mind starting again and proving yourself and building relationships, and you want something na financially rewarding in a shorter period of time, then it might be parang you might be able to get that right away when you move into a new company. There's really no right or wrong answer. So there's nothing wrong kung, for example, matagal ka na sa isang company, you haven't progressed, but yun yung gusto mo eh. Parang doon ka na masaya kasi it allows you to do the things that you want to do. There's nothing wrong with it also. But kung gusto mo pa rin naman na go, you can move around and explore other opportunities also.
I find that valid yung life stage conversation. Kasi moving or assuming a new role takes so much effort talaga, time and talagang hard work. So if you're not in that life stage that you are ready for that type of stress, go. Parang stay within your level first, and then once you're ready, then go.
Yeah, I'm a little bit conflicted with this parang, but I think my answer would still go into depends nga on your objective. Kasi if you're going to be just logical about it, I think you are only productive, let's say, yung work life mo, diba? So kunwari, you count against your retirement age. In some companies, it's 55. In some companies, it's 60. So technically, if you graduate 21, you have 39 years of 39 productive years, right? So you want to maximize those productive years, right? And studies have already shown that people who have stayed longer in one organization tend to get lower pay compared to their peers, right? So ano siya depends I guess that's what happens when if you compare it, if you average it, no, if you're an average performer and you stay in your company for a long period, then maybe. Pero kasi if you stay in a one company wherein exponential naman yung because you're a high flyer or you've performed so well, then you get increases that are really tremendous also. So to me, I guess it's that, no, depending on your objectives. Because if you want to retire early or retire with a lot more energy, then you want to maximize the time. I think it also depends on your when you find your niche in the company. Na parang kasi there are some people who move around to find their perfect fit, right? And once they find their perfect fit, okay, this is it. I'm going to stay as long as I can. And good on those people who are able to find that, right? I think that's where I'm a little bit conflicted because the question is should. And to me, when you ask the question of should, it's a question of, di ba dapat eh, must you do this? And if it's a must or if it's a question of a should, it depends on your objective. But the question of when you change the word into would you want to stay? I think it depends. It depends on whether you found your niche in the organization. Ganda na answer ko.
Di ba,
Very
sobrang valid
considered and
din
meron
na.
ako backed up ako by articles.
Hindi, kasi kunwari ako, I've been to several companies in the past. You move not only because you get a good pay, di ba? May push and pull siya. So sometimes you also find parang a part of the culture that you don't like and so on. And yun nga, parang when you find that company that you feel talaga na you fit the culture, the type of challenges that they give you, ganyan-ganyan, then stay long. Parang
yung start nitong video na to, ang ika-capture ko lang yung snippet sa'yo na kung average performer ka, then stay. Hindi ko nalalagyan ng I think kailangan ng controversy. Kailangan ng traction.
Naku, wag niyo kung gawa ng controversy. I'm just starting.
Tapos yun
Uy.
yung ilalagay ko sa LinkedIn pag siya teaser.
Oo, pero sana nag-register ka na.
uy, meron na akong PDF ng application form. Tapos
Mm-mm.
naka-leave ako sa 23 and 24
Ay, and
just to register.
Well, I'll only
ano pa?
I'll
Recorded
appreciate
to.
it once I see it. To see is to believe.
Okay, with that, thank you again. It was a really good conversation. No? Thank you for joining us tonight. And
And then if you have any suggestions for new topics to discuss, please comment and message us. Email us
or send us an
at
email at contact.afterofficehours. Ano nga ba yung ano natin? contact.afterofficehours@gmail.com. So again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Until
Thanks,
next
guys.
time. Until next time. The After Office Hours.